Good morning, Southeast Idaho. I'm meteorologist Kevin Smith here again at the National Weather Service in Pocatello with another edition of your Eastern Idaho planning briefing, this one for Wednesday, October 21st. Not a lot has changed with respect to the forecast. We still have two storm systems that we're monitoring over the next several days. Storm number one arrives today across southeast Idaho. Still expecting generally low to moderate impacts out of this. And with respect to precipitation, a lot of our high-resolution computer models this morning are really pretty slim, really pretty meager with the chance of a few rain and snow showers, particularly north and east of the Snake Plain late this afternoon into tonight. So I don't think that's going to be a big issue for you. Can't completely rule out an isolated slick spot on the roadways at places like Pine Creek Pass, maybe up toward the Montana border tonight if we do get a snow shower up that way. But that's going to be about it. A lot of you are going to squeak out dry from today's storm system. The bigger deal, I think, is going to be those strong winds, and we are expecting those winds to develop generally from about 10 a.m. this morning to 9 p.m. this evening is your window for the strongest winds across the region. I'll show you those graphically here in just a moment. Watching for some impacts on American Falls Reservoir for late season boating. Also, blowing dust may again be an issue where we have dust and dirt available to blow where crops have been harvested, particularly that stretch of I-15 north of Idaho Falls near Osgood. It's going to be a concern with the winds today. And forecast confidence is high for today's weather impacts. Now, storm number two, potentially a little bit bigger deal. That system is coming at us still for Saturday. Some of those impacts starting late Friday night, continuing during the day on Saturday. Still expecting a chance of widespread snow across the region. Increasing concerns now for possible flash freeze on the roadways Saturday evening. So even for locations where we're generally seeing wet roadways and not a ton of snow accumulation, we're going to see plummeting temperatures behind a cold front and may see some travel impacts out of that. Also breezy conditions on Saturday. Still low confidence in some of the details of this forecast, as we still have several days to go before that event arrives. Satellite view this morning, still high pressure out over the middle of the Pacific Ocean here. Like the last few days, we've had this flow of moisture, active storm track kind of streaming over the top of the high pressure ridge into the northern Rockies. That's mostly been targeting Montana for greatest impacts out of rain and snow. Really hasn't been an issue for us, aside from some cloud cover. You can see up here where I've put the red L, low pressure center. This is storm number one coming in today. You can start to see a little bit of organization up there in southern Canada. That activity and the associated wind on the way for us a little bit later this morning. Okay, looking over the next 5 days here and breaking it up by region on our weather impact overview. Again, little change here. We've got 2 days lit up. We got storm number one today. Windiest conditions for the Snake Plain, eastern Magic Valley, extending into portions of the eastern highlands. Breezy conditions elsewhere, just a little bit lower on those speeds. Again, blowing dust and some wave action concerns for American Falls Reservoir and portions of the Snake Plain. Cold front, first of two cold fronts coming through on the tail end of this storm tonight. That leads us into two calmer but cold days across southeast Idaho for Thursday and Friday. Generally dry conditions, but much colder temperatures than what we've seen over the past couple days. Storm number two. We have you lit up here for Saturday for moderate impacts. Again, mix of rain and snow showers expected with this in the Snake Plain, eastern Magic Valley into the South Hills and some of the valleys across the southern highlands. Snow, the predominant precipitation type elsewhere. And for everyone, concerns about a flash freeze and maybe some icing on area roadways as a much stronger cold front crosses the region over the course of the daytime hours on Saturday, sending temperatures plummeting by Saturday evening and Saturday night, leaving us very cold as we head into the day on Sunday. In fact, temperatures 20 to 30 degrees below normal for this time of year for southeast Idaho. Okay, kicking off with today, we do have a wind advisory that remains in effect, and that's for our normal corridor here where we see our strongest winds from the eastern Magic Valley, the Burley and Shoshone areas, right up the Snake Plain, the Arco Desert, Mud Lake area, also Pocatello and Idaho Falls. Here's the speeds that we're looking at. Again, winds should ramp up for a lot of areas by maybe as early as 10 a.m. this morning and continue throughout the day. Generally out of the west-southwest for most of the day before we see winds shift into the northwest and diminish with the front this evening. You can see everyone across southeast Idaho getting in on some wind gusts of 25 miles an hour or greater. And then we have this corridor of stronger winds here in the advisory area, particularly across the Snake Plain, with 30 to 50 mile per hour wind gusts will be possible. Putting a couple images in your head associated with that. Two of the things we're really focused on here, and it goes without saying when you get winds of this magnitude, high-profile vehicles, empty semi-tractor trailers, things like that. You want to use caution driving out there in these types of winds. But in addition to that, here on the left, blowing dust is certainly a concern where fields have been plowed. And once again, just like we've seen closures and visibility issues along Interstate 15, north of Idaho Falls up to Roberts over the past 2 weeks with some of our winter events, this may be an issue again today. Also, again, late season boating and recreators on American Falls Reservoir, be on the alert for rough chop, high waves, and that may pose dangerous for smaller watercraft there on the reservoir. High temperatures today, still pretty seasonable for this time of year, getting up into the 50s for just about everyone, possibly approaching 60 down here toward Twin Falls and Burley, little bit warmer down here toward Malad, Preston, and the Utah border zone. Thursday and Friday, remember, this is that colder break between storm number 1 and storm number 2. You can see temperatures only topping out in the upper 30s to mid 40s here on Thursday for highs in the left panel. Over here on the right image, gain a degree or two, but not much change for your high temperatures on Friday. Again, generally getting up into the upper 30s to mid 40s, possibly making a run at 50 in places like Malad, Sweetser Summit, down toward Burley as well. Quiet Thursday, Friday, before we head into our main event for the weekend. So, storm number 2, we are expecting some precipitation, generally snow showers, to start breaking out late Friday night up here across the Central Mountains. And then everyone across the region gets into the action from Saturday morning into Saturday afternoon from northwest to southeast. Snow for just about everybody, but some rain likely mixing in at lower elevations from the eastern Magic Valley up into the lower Snake Plain, possibly up toward the Haley area. Now here on the left panel, I'm showing you our forecast high temperatures, and there's a couple things to note here. First, if we do see widespread precipitation starting early enough in the day, these might be a little optimistic. Generally, when you have falling precipitation, it tends to kind of stabilize the lower atmosphere and hold temperatures kind of stagnant. So whether we'll actually get quite this warm remains to be seen. But if we do, these high temperatures are going to be realized during the morning hours Saturday, with falling temperatures and colder air coming in Saturday afternoon and Saturday evening. So not the normal temperature curve you'd expect, not warm in the afternoon. It's actually going to be highest temperatures during the morning hours. Over here on the right, we did put up kind of an initial forecast here for some wind gusts with that strong cold front blasting into the region. We are expecting some strong winds. These are wind gusts, so generally on the order of 30, maybe as high as 40 miles per hour for some locales across the region. And this forecast has been trending upward just a little bit here over the past day or two, so we'll continue to monitor that potential for you as well. Very preliminary first look at what we might see for some snow totals out of this system. Again, this is from the onset of storm number 2 late Friday night and then focused into the day on Saturday and Saturday night. Starting here in the lower elevations, generally a dusting to maybe an inch of snow for most of you across the Snake Plain, the eastern Magic Valley, the southern highlands. So not a ton of accumulation there. Might see a little bit higher, 1 to 2 inches for the Wood River Valley, also up here toward Rexburg and up toward the Spencer area as well. And then 2 areas we're watching for some higher potential amounts. Generally 3 to 6, 3 to 7 inches look possible across portions of the Central Mountains, particularly as you get up in elevation, places like Galena Summit and higher here. Some of those higher mountain passes picking up that accumulation. Also up here in the Island Park area, down across the Tetons, the Big Hole Mountains, the Caribou Highlands, another corridor where we may see roughly 3 to 7 inches of snow total out of this system. Now, still some uncertainty with exact snowfall amounts, so do expect we'll be adjusting and possibly changing these totals a little bit over the next several days as the event approaches. Also, even though these snowfall amounts are not terribly drastic for most of you, they're fairly low. Again, one of the main concerns we have out of this system is those plummeting temperatures as we head into Saturday afternoon and Saturday evening. So even locations that see just a few light rain and snow showers do stand the chance of seeing some icy spots develop on the roadways. So travel impacts will be possible, particularly from late Saturday afternoon onward. Wrapping up with temperatures here, this is the reason for that flash freeze concern. You can see here on the left, low temperatures Saturday night into Sunday morning plummeting behind that cold front. Single digits to low teens expected across southeast Idaho. Just bitterly cold, near record cold readings for this time of year. Wind chills into Sunday morning may actually be below zero for portions of the region. And then over here on the right, high temperatures struggling up into the 20s for most of you. Most locations not even reaching 32 degrees for high temperatures during the day on Sunday, behind system number 2. So there you have it. Again, 2 storms on the horizon, higher confidence and lower impacts today, with wind being the main concern, and we continue to monitor forecast trends for potential snow and cold temperatures as we head into the weekend. That's it for your briefing today. As always, reach out to us if you have any questions and concerns, and have a great Wednesday.